Illinois State University is a wonderful campus in central Illinois. We have 21,000 students. The place started as a normal campus, which meant we were here for teaching, and that really still is the emphasis of what Illinois State does. We're really focused on the teaching aspect of campus. Research is something that's important, but the real heartbeat of the campus is instruction. For us doing our refresh, it was really looking at what can we do to modernize what we were doing. It was a fairly traditional install that we had in terms of we stored it on campus, we stored it in a third location. So we had that, but what we really wanted to do was take advantage of the hybrid cloud that we want to do, not just so that our whole dev test production environment is going hybrid cloud. We wanted to take advantage of all those other benefits of the hybrid cloud with our backups as well.
The reason we liked going to the cloud is one, we don't have to deal with hardware that's off-site anymore. So, for instance, one of my coworkers had to drive up to Chicago every month or two to deal with hardware problems in our DR center. So shipping that to AWS, and now I never have to actually go physically touch hardware, is fantastic. If I need new storage, I just spin it up, and it's available within 20 or 30 minutes. Where before we had to buy a drive, get it in, then drive it up 200 miles to Chicago, get it installed, then get it provisioned, and there was a huge lag there between when we needed something and when it was available. So moving our DR center to the cloud just made sense for us. So now we can scale up and back depending on what our scenarios are. So knowing that in a disaster environment or disaster scenario, that I can lift and shift all of our on-prem almost instantly into the cloud is huge for us.
In 3 years, we're going to have a College of Engineering. Tim's responsible for our HPC that's really cranking up. That's a campus service for faculty to use for their research without charging them for that. We've got a ton of AR, VR efforts and esports things coming online as well. So there's a whole lot coming to Illinois State, and we have a solution that can help protect the data for all of those things, because the infrastructure's been built with growth in mind.
I've had several people come to me and ask, what's our backup strategies like, because they've had a grant that has a requirement for that. And I've said, it's already taken care of. As long as it's here, as long as you're putting it in your normal spaces, it's taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. Here's the documentation on where all of that will be found for that grant. And all you have to do is copy, paste, and you're done. I think that's been huge for a lot of our researchers who think about more like smashing stars and vortex beams and those sorts of things. They don't think about like where their data goes and how they have to handle it in case of an emergency. They just have to think about their research.
It's a lot easier and more flexible for us with our infrastructure now to add in additional hardware versus before it was very much monolithic. We had big chunks of compute, big chunks of storage. Now we can much more easily add in that hardware and add in the licensing. So that's going to help us as we go forward.
Commvault allows us to live in this weird hybrid environment, mostly because now Commvault lives in both environments. So if I need something dealt with in AWS, it's already in AWS. I already have the data there. I can spin it up from AWS. Or if it's on-prem, it's already on-prem. I can spin it up from on-prem. It's not a big deal. And it's the seamless meshing between on-prem VMware for us and in the cloud in EC2, for instance, is almost seamless for me. It's just a single click between doing something in the cloud and doing something on-prem.
The added benefits of Commvault may not necessarily be seen immediately, but it's that simplification of our whole backup infrastructure. We got rid of a physical data center so that we could just go we could keep our site on-prem as well as going to the public cloud. The other way it's simplified, the hardware that we have running it is much simpler than what we had before, so that saves staff time. And I think also where we're going to see benefits, because we've got a lot less hardware, we're going to see a lot of power and cooling rebates back to the campus, which become real dollars. I mean, unfortunately, we don't see those dollars, but the campus gets those real dollars back that can go into other places. So, Tim is a fabulous sysadmin. He's got a young family. His wife is seeking tenure. So anything we can do to free up Tim's time, because he's got a lot on his plate, is really great. And I think the solution we have with Commvault is going to allow him to have a little bit of that time that rebated back so we can do other things.